Hello students, you're welcome to LODLC lecture series. This is for AC315 Nigerian Economy, and this video is for study session 10, Trade and Transport System in Nigeria. Economics and policy analysts have seen that there is a relationship between trade and transport, as a good transport system aids the development of trade, and trade also aids a development of a good transport system. Thus, they've seen the relationship, and that is what we are about to establish and analyze. At the end of this study session, you should be able to do the following. 1. Define transportation. 2. Discuss the history of road transportation in Nigeria. 3. Enumerate the problems of road transportation in Nigeria. And 4. Explain the dynamics of trade policy in Nigeria since 1960. Transportation. Transportation is an essential part of human activities. In many ways, transportation forms the basis for all socio-economic interaction. Without transportation, you cannot you can't see your friend who is not where you are. You cannot even buy products that are not produced very close to you. Thus, transportation is essential for the interaction of people and even natural environment. Thus, transportation can be defined as the movement of goods, services, and people from one geographical location to another. Thus, we can see that a good transport system is essential to support economic growth and development. The modes of transport. There are four modes of transport. The first, which is the road transportation. We have the road transportation, we have the water transportation, and we have the air transportation. The road transportation is the movement of people and goods on a rail track. However, in Nigeria, we have the single gauge. The rail can move goods en mass and at a very cheap or at an affordable price. It can move goods that 30, 40, or 50 traders cannot even move at once. That is what rail can do. It can actually, and its fare is cheap. Thus, it is affordable for people, and it is the best. It is best used for the mass movement of goods and people over land. However, we have the road transportation. Road transportation. The major benefit of road transportation is the provision of door-to-door services. Transportation is the movement of people using cars, trucks, and bicycles and tricycles over land. And it is majorly used for the provision of door-to-door services. It can also move goods, but it is not required for the mass movement of goods. However, in developing nations, road transportation is used for the mass movement of goods. Water transportation, this is the movement of people on water using ships and canoes. Water transportation is used majorly for international trade, as it can actually move a large number of goods over a long distance, let's say between regions and countries, for a very affordable price. It is actually slow, not very slow though, but it is slower than air transportation and road transportation. It can actually move goods and people in mass between countries and regions of the world. It is best used for international trade. Where air transportation is best used, it offers speed, and it is the movement of people through air using aeroplane, helicopter, and other aircraft. It is best used to move people over long distances. It offers speed, and you can also use it to move goods that have low weight to high value ratios, such as diamonds, goods that can actually afford to pay, that you can actually afford to pay the transportation fare, because the transportation fare is not even for the urban poor, it is actually for the rich. Classification of Nigerian road. Nigerian road can actually be classified into four. We have the Federal Trunk A road, the Federal Trunk F road, the Trunk B road, and the Trunk C road. The Trunk A road, these are the route that is owned and maintained by federal government, the federal government of Nigeria. However, the federal trunk F road, these are the roads that is actually owned and maintained and should be maintained by the states, but that has been taken over by the federal government in order to maintain it. So they are state roads that are taken over by the federal government, and the federal government has taken over the construction and the maintenance of such roads. The trunk B roads are the roads that are being constructed and maintained by the state government, while the trunk C roads are the roads that are being constructed and they are being maintained by the local government. Well, let's talk about the history of Nigerian roads. In 1904, Lord Lugard attempted the construction of a more road linking Zaria to Zungeru, both in the northern states of Nigeria. The road was later extended from Zaria to Sokoto, Katsina, Maiduguri. How this they did so that it would make administration easier for them, as they have to move from one part of the country to another to govern, and that is what transportation offers. It offers the movement of things or people from one geographical location to another. The road linking Ibadan and Oyo was constructed in 1906, and it was said to be the first motorable road ever constructed in Nigeria. Like I said, there are 4 types of roads in Nigeria, and I've told you about the ownership and the maintenance of such roads. So each tier of government has a responsibility for planning, construction, and maintenance of the network of roads under its jurisdiction. Problems of road transportation in Nigeria: the poor state of roads. The state of Nigerian roads are very poor, and this has necessitated this is one of the major factors that has actually increased the rate of accidents in Nigeria. Valuable lives are being lost on our roads, and even manpower, and we are spending a lot in maintaining the cars that actually take this road because of the poor state of the road, excessive use of the road mode of transport. Transportation has 4 modes. Thus, each mode has a specific importance or a specific part that it should play in the transportation network. However, in Nigeria, the road plays majorly all the part, as all other modes of transportation are not affordable or are not even available to the damn poor. So majorly we use road transport, which has increased the stress on the road and is actually affecting the poor state of the road. And that thing is poor maintenance culture. We have very poor maintenance culture in Nigeria, and until things get spoiled, we don't repair them or we don't even maintain them. And the road is not an exception. We rarely maintain our roads if they have actually not reached a point at which it is no longer serviceable. The government policies. Government policy is not even helping the road transportation in Nigeria. This government might come and order that roads should be constructed, whereas another government should come and say roads should not be constructed. Then unfavorable government policies. Even contractors who get road contracts are not sure if they should construct, as if they don't get paid during this administration, the next administration might not pay them. And this is one of the major problems of road transportation in Nigeria. Then the last one is dynamics of trade policies in Nigeria since 1960. Let's talk about the trade policy trends between 1960 to 1970. In 1960, Nigeria got independence. So the very first thing, the first policy that Nigeria did then was the import substitution industrialization strategy. This strategy involves levying high rates on imported goods. This is done in order to promote the production and the consumption of local goods, so that people can actually buy goods that are produced locally. However, in 1980 to 1990, there was a policy shift, and this was export promotion. Now what we are producing is enough for us to eat, and now we need a wider market. So we now add a policy that actually promoted export. Thus, what is not consumed in Nigeria can be exported to other countries, where we can actually get markets for them instead of wastage of those goods. And the third one is the trade liberation and trading activities. This is when the economy is now big and the world is seen as a global village. Thank you very much for listening.